Hello and welcome to a Friday edition of the Big O Show starring Orestes. Destrade. That was a good Friday.
That was a Friday.
Came from the diaphragm.
Extravaganza right there, buddy.
How are you, partner?
I'm doing fantastic. Not as good as North Carolina and BYU, but better than
USF.
Better than USF and better than Taylor Walls. So we're definitely going to get into some of the topics there. But it's been a good week, and we're back to ball after the exciting WBC, and again, little kudos, little belated, but to Team Venezuela. The one thing I'll say on the exodus of covering, and we'll close the book on that today, Friday, as we move into real baseball, finishing spring training, and the season's around the corner from us, is that you really got to appreciate three major countries that take the WBC in so dramatically and prepare for it months in advance.
Yep.
But I'm talking not just the teams that that put their team together, but the countries, and that is Japan, Venezuela, and Dominican Republic. I mean, they live this WBC.
Yeah, they do.
I would say a distant fourth would be Mexico, throw in Puerto Rico, but and obviously the United States.
Noticeably absent in the United States.
Well, they're in there. And,
we're still
and
not taking
fandom,
it as serious as
but
we should.
we're not. And I'm talking about
opinion.
like the whole country.
Yeah.
Buying in, right?
Yeah.
These countries, Japan, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela, are so bought in, and like they look forward to it. They want to win so bad, and then they celebrate it to another stratosphere. So really neat to see Venezuela get one under their belt, because they've never gotten to that level.
Been knocking on the door,
and they've been knocking on the door, but they've been ousted early in past WBCs. They've gotten to the semis and not moved on. This is a great win for them. Great win for this country. Remember, a country like Venezuela is going through a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of change looming, and
good change.
We expect it to be very positive change. So this is kind of like an opening the door, dare I say, as far as beyond baseball, to get them an opportunity to like, wow, this is going to be a good year for us. Team Venezuela wins. We love the game of baseball, and this is going to be a good sign for Venezuela. I think it is.
Any lingering thoughts on Team USA? I would say that this brain trust should not be back.
No.
In 29.
No, I think the experiment of Mark DeRosa as your head guy and manager, we all know and believe he's a good guy, and he worked really, really hard on this. But there was mistakes.
Mistakes were made
on and off the field. And then as far as, between the lines, I mean, unfortunately, but it is what it is. That's the nature of sports, especially when you become a superstar. The nature of sports is, hey, can you win the big one finally? And that's fallen on Aaron Judge, primarily, number one.
Yep.
It falls on Harper,
Yep.
1B. You know what I mean? It even falls on Schwarber. Schwarber has become a superstar in this game.
Did not deliver.
And he did not deliver, and he hasn't, been a guy that's come through. So those guys are kind of licking their wounds, but boom, here's the season, right around the corner. So there's no time to win. Thankfully, it's such a condensed, intense 11, 12 days that you move on from it and you get back with your team, and your focus now becomes let's play this dramatic marathon of 162 games. How do we get to the playoffs? How do we get to the promised land?
And the good news is no major injuries, which is good.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be missing any time.
Even Seiya Suzuki, which was a little bit of a scare. It looks to be
okay.
He's going to be okay with that slide at second base, and the right knee kind of tweaked it, but he's going to be all right. He's an integral part of the Chicago Cubs going anywhere this year.
All right, so we move on. And speaking of injuries,
yeah, buddy,
Taylor Walls, the dreaded oblique, is out on the injured list to start the season. But you think this might be a little bit of a silver lining?
I mean, there might be. Number one, let's talk Taylor. That's got to be frustrating because he was earmarked. You're the starting shortstop of the Tampa Bay Rays. Pretty much. I mean, it was going to take either an injury, which now we're going to talk, is happening, or, just an incredible spring training, not just hitting 300 like both Williamsons have done, Carson and Ben Williamson. It was going to take much more than that to uproot Taylor Walls from being a shortstop. So I feel for him personally. He is the best defensive shortstop in the game. But he's not very offensive minded. So the Rays were counting on that defense. Why? Because this is a team that's going to notoriously play 4-3 ball games, either win 4-3 or lose 4-3. So that is huge to be strong up the middle. You've got two really talented catchers, albeit we're not expecting a whole lot of offense from Fiducia and from Fortes, but we're expecting great defense, right?
Yes.
You've got Gavin Lux at second. You had, Taylor Walls is short. And then a healthy looking and really good shape Cedric Mullins. You've covered the spine defensively. But now it's going to be a chance for both Carson Williams and Ben Williamson to probably, be used both depending on situations. Maybe one is going to come out of spring in the next week, earmarked. We'll see what the Rays decide if they're going to say, hey, Carson, it's going to be you. I would lean towards it being Carson. Because he's too young to be sitting around for long periods of time.
Right.
While Ben Williamson kind of came into camp expecting mentally and what hopefully is physically to whether I'm not going to play 7 days in a row.
Right.
I'm going to play once or twice a week. So he's more mentally attuned to that. He's a little older. He's 26, still young. But you have this 22-year-old that if Walls is down, which he is, I kind of just give him the keys to the car and let him, rev around and see what happens. Because if he struggles a lot, then you slot in Ben, but I'd like the opportunity to have Ben Williamson be more available in that Ben Zobrist kind of scenario where he could start at second, spell at third, throw him at first if need be. He can play the corner outfield. This guy's a very important part of this. So, in the end, here's the problem, or here's the situation. You were looking for Taylor Walls to be standout defense. You weren't looking for any offense from him at a high level, right? So now, are you going to get the level of defense from Williamson and Williams somewhat close to Walls? If you do, then advantage Rays, because you're definitely going to get more offense from those two guys than you ever were from Taylor Walls.
Right.
Period.
And there, could be more of the future of this team.
And
Taylor's 30.
Yeah.
And his hitting's not going to dramatically increase. He's always going to be a great glove, and you can use that. And when he comes back, he'll be, even if Carson is starting, he's great to have around for late innings.
Yeah.
You get a lead, put him in the 6th, 7th.
And you know what? You make a great point, because here's the situation. You're not talking about, Jonathan Aranda getting hurt in spring.
Right.
And he's going to be out for a month. When Jonathan Aranda comes back from that injury, hypothetically, he's going right back into the lineup because you need his bat. It's not necessarily the case with Taylor Walls. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks at least. If Carson or Ben are raking, and playing solid defense, Taylor becomes that utility guy, and late inning defensive,
and an important piece.
A huge important
absolutely
piece. Yeah. There's for this particular team and the makeup of this team, it's important because you don't have studs all around.
Right.
So you're going to have to plug and play, and you have a tight game and it's a 7th inning. Taylor, get out of short because you want to hold a 2-run lead or 1-run lead.
Absolutely.
He's almost like my closer, if you will.
Yeah, let Carson go out there and hit a home run or a double in a couple and play above average defense. And then when you have the lead, like you say, just
he's like a closer. He's like a closer. We're going to be talking about the different trios that are so important here in a minute, but he becomes that potential guy. So we'll see. This could be a silver lining offensively if one or both of those guys start raking.
Right. So if Carson starts at short, the opening day lineup looks like it's going to be Caminero at third, Carson at short,
Sure.
Gavin Lux at
Gavin
second,
Lux is fine.
Aranda at first.
Right.
One of your catchers.
Lefty, righty.
Yeah.
Fiducia or
Drew
Lopez.
Rasmussen will start. Gets the opening day start.
Correct.
You got Chandler Simpson in left.
Yeah.
Mullins in center, and Fraley in right.
Fraley and right. Again, the question mark with Fraley is, is he going to hit lefties this year? Is he going to play against lefties?
Yeah, and if it's a righty for St. Louis,
the Luca.
Yeah.
Ryan Velotti did hit a home run yesterday. He's had a strong spring. I see this guy making the team. So you've got that combination, and because Velotti is a guy that could also play first. He could play second. He could play short.
So you think Velotti makes the team? You think Williams, without Taylor Walls, Williamson makes the team?
I think he does. I mean, I got to look at it, but to some degree, except for the defense being better on Ben Williamson, Velotti and Williamson are kind of the same guy.
Same guy, yeah.
So it's a little tricky there. While Carson Williams is your shortstop guy. You know what I mean? If there's an opening, which there is, that should be your shortstop. So it's going to be interesting, who they keep, who they don't. Depends how many pitchers they want to carry. If they want to carry the extra pitcher, then one of those guys gets, but remember, Velotti doesn't have an option. So they would most likely lose him completely.
Yeah. That factors into it. I'm sure. Does Williamson have any options left?
I think he might.
Right?
I think he might. I got to look into that. But that's a big factor because he's already shown this spring that he would be a valuable, fourth, outfielder for a lot of big league teams. A team like Cleveland, looking for pop and looking for offense, they've got their eye on somebody like that.
Yeah. All right. You wanted to talk about the trio.
Yeah.
That's the trio of trios that are going to be key for the Rays.
Yeah. Listen, this is the beast of the East. There's no doubt that this is a daunting, probably, I can't remember. It's been a good decade when all 5 teams are that talented going into the season.
Yeah.
All 5. Any 5 could win the division. Any 5 could go deep in the playoffs with the pitching that they have. And again, things have to be for the little engine that could in the Rays have to just be right. So obviously, in any division, only up to 3 teams can make it: the division champ and 2 wild cards. So it's going to be a scratch and claw in the best division in all of baseball. What I think needs to be so important is health. They got to be healthier with 9 guys than any of the other teams in baseball. They can't, have a hiccup with these 9 guys in 3 different categories of the game. Starting off, and always is the key, is starting pitching. If you can keep healthy and have the production that you should be able to have with Drew Rasmussen, got nicked up yesterday. I'm going to throw that one away because he did, he just gave up a lot of hits. I think he only walked 1 guy, but he got shellacked, 3 homers. The ball was flying out. Maybe it was windy, whatever. You just throw that one away. He is a stud starter in the major leagues right now. He's your ace. So you have Drew Rasmussen healthy, going out there and giving you upwards of 180 innings and throwing at an all-star caliber. That's 1. Number 2, it's Ryan Pepiot turning the corner from being a good major league pitcher to a possible dominant major league pitcher. Can he do that? He's a horse. It's a big guy that hopefully can turn the corner and really become a consistent, control his walks, because that's been his issue of where he just loses that focus. If he does that, then you've got a number 2 guy. And then Sugar Shane. In fact, he's throwing right now as we speak. He just started.
Yeah. Red Sox Rays today. We'll keep you updated on that.
So far, looking fantastic this spring. Has hit all the different metrics and the different, phases of him coming back from not 1 but 2, serious injuries, including the Tommy John and the thoracic issue. So this is a guy that if Sugar Shane is back to 90% of what he was and throws 150 quality innings, that changes the whole spectrum. That trio right there now can be matched up with any 1, 2, and 3 in the American League, including the American League East, which are going to have a shitload of trios that are really, really good.
Yeah,
on all 5 of those teams, all the other 4. So that trio is important. Again, health meets all-star potential, production. The next rung is arguably, JP, where they're the strongest, which is bullpen. But without, going into every dynamics of it, it comes down to three guys. And most games, you're hopefully maybe going to use these guys, and you're going to see a 7th, 8th, and 9th closeout type situation. And that is Garrett Clevenger, the lefty, Griffin Jacks, obviously the righty, both on Team USA, did wonderful jobs for representing their country on WBC. And then Edwin Uceda. Edwin Uceda's probably not going to go on that first rung of the St. Louis, Milwaukee, Minnesota rung. Too cold, shoulder. He's, from what I've heard and seen, is that he's back on point after, showing up in camp with a little, what they call the cranky shoulder. Uceda could be the whip of all three of them. He can be that dominating. So now when you have that three-headed monster, man, there's so much that you can do to control the game and win those 4-3 games. So those three need to stay healthy and have all-star kind of season. So there's 6. The other 3 is massive too. Each part compartmentalized are massive, right? And have their own dynamics. The other one is the offense. And the offense, it comes down to, forget about the other 6 guys. I'm not saying forget about them because they have to be productive, but it comes down to Yandy Diaz. It comes down to Junior Caminero and Jonathan Aranda. All 3 need to stay healthy, and they all bring different dynamics. Yandy is a guy that battles pitchers, should hit 310, 300 again, can pop 20 homers, can drive anywhere between 80 to 90, RBIs, and just kind of like brings the whole lineup together because he's so good with plate discipline, walks a lot, frustrates pitchers as you get deep in the game. He's so massive. That's why you heard so many trade rumors for him all winter long. How many teams were mentioning Yandy Diaz going here, Yandy Diaz going there? Everybody loves Yandy Diaz, and they should. The second guy is Junior Caminero, because, listen, we already saw it in the WBC.
Oh, we saw it last year.
We saw it last year, but I'm saying 2026, he's come to play. He's in better shape. He's stronger. He's 22. He's feeling not cocky, but arrogant enough that he says, this is my league. This guy could have an MVP type of a season. So if you get that, all that I'm looking for him is to jump from being a 260 hitter to hopefully like a 280 hitter, that then all of a sudden the OPS goes up. He gets on base more, strikes out less, takes some walks because they're going to pitch around him sometimes, and he's going to need to be smart enough to not chase.
That's a key.
Hits 280, 40 jacks, 110 RBIs. That's the hammer. Then you need Jonathan Aranda, whether he's hitting before or after Junior, to be what we think and what we saw for 4 months out of 6, because he was out for a couple months with a wrist injury. That was a 320 hitter, dude. Yeah. That was a guy that
at every level he's hit 320.
He's hit 320 everywhere since he's been 17 years old. The guy's just a pure hitter.
And he's starting to add a little man strength and a little bit of power.
And also at 28, you know what he's adding? The plate discipline of knowing what they're trying to do to him, because now you've got thousands of at-bats. Remember, we talked about it before.
Yep.
Your peak years really as a professional hitter is 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Those are your peak years, because you combine physicality, fully being as strong as you're ever going to be in your life, around 27, 28, combined with experience of thousands of at-bats. So when you do that, he's on the precipice, again, with health, to hit 315, 320, hit 25 to 30 homers, drive in 90 to 100. That's the trio. If that trio stays healthy and hits at an all-star level, now the next trio should benefit dramatically. Number one, Chandler Simpson, if he gets 600 at-bats and he's got those 3 guys behind him doing what they're doing, dude, he's going to score 120 runs.
He should.
120 runs.
Because if he gets on, he's an automatic double.
He's pretty much an automatic double, but the times he doesn't run and there hits a double, he scores. Right. So the guy should be scoring left and right. And so those 3 guys affect how good Chandler Simpson's going to be able to score. Then the other 2 guys that are going to be key in that second rung of trio is Cedric Mullins, and it's Jake Fraley and what they can do. Both are lefties. Mullins, even though he was a switch hitter and became just a straight up lefty hitter, has made himself sans the second half of last year a very good hitter against lefties, so he doesn't really overtly struggle. So he could play every day in center field without a problem. Fraley's another story. Fraley dramatically struggles against lefties. So then you're going to be looking at that. Is it
platoon?
DeLuca?
Yeah.
Is it, Velotti? Is it Williamson? There would probably be a platoon there. But when it's righties, which is 60, 70% of the time, I'm looking for this guy to pop 15 or 20, maybe 22.
Yeah.
And drive.
And as a platoon guy, that's huge.
That's huge.
Huge.
If you can pop 20 as a platoon guy and drive in 70, now that takes that lineup and it extends it. And you're not worrying about 7, 8, and 9 as much.
Yeah.
Being Fiducia, Forte, Williams, even Walls when he comes back,
it's a much deeper lineup.
It's a much deeper
than
lineup.
We had last year.
It has the potential to be. And again, what we're looking for is to score 4.2, 4.3 runs a game on average in totality of 162, because we're expected to play great defense. I see great defense on this team.
And good pitching.
The most questionable defensive position is left field, which, at the Trop, when most of the games are played, I don't think Chandler Simpson's going to really struggle. He's got a short little porch, and so you don't have to worry about dramatic plays. You don't have a wall. You don't have anything.
He's got a really experienced, good center fielder.
He's got an incredible center fielder, that's left-handed, that could come to the gap and say, hey, I've got you, because I'm left-handed, so I'm going to cover a wider range of left center. So don't worry about it. If your route's not exactly right, if it hangs up there, because that is the, Death Valley over there at the Trop, I've got you.
Yeah.
So then that kid can just concentrate on.
And Chandler's got such great speed. If he starts
figuring it
taking out great routes, and hopefully the Kevin Kiermaier college that he went to.
Not just even that. You know what? More importantly than Kevin Kiermaier College is a coach that I think is going to be very, very influential this year. Not being talked about a heck of a lot, but he's going to be dramatically influential to the outfielders, but also even to the hitters as an extra little, hitting guy, because he could rake in his day for Chad Mottola, and that's Corey Dickerson.
Oh, the old Corey Dickerson.
Corey Dickerson is their outfield and first base coach.
Okay.
And Corey, that little slide of an addition, believe it or not, was a very calculated, very smart addition by the Rays, because this is a guy that not only understands the Rays mantra and the Rays organization, but it was he was a Gold Glove left fielder, good base runner, and a guy who could really, really hit. So you're getting a dynamic of a guy. That's who he needs to lean on a lot. That being, Chandler Simpson's kind of in the dugout, being next to Corey Simpson all the time. Go, hey, how did I do last inning? How, what was my route? What am I deal? And along with obviously having a veteran like Mullins in center field is going to help a lot. So, you know what? I'll say it again. The Rays are the little engine that could. It's a dramatic, daunting beast of the East. But if those 9 guys stay healthy and perform as they should, you could be winning a lot of those 4-3 games.
That's what we got to see. By the way, update on Sugar Shane. He hits Roman Anthony.
That's nothing wrong with that.
But then
it's Boston. You want to hit a couple.
Send a message.
Send a message.
And he strikes out Durbin and Duran swinging.
Right.
Gives up a single to Willie Contreras, and then gets Yoshida on a called strike 3. So he strikes out the side in the first.
Nice.
Is that okay? Against that lineup?
Hello.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
1 hit.
Yeah.
And 1 hit by pitch, I guess.
The Rays are up, and Yandy has walked.
Yeah.
As he will do many times this year.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rhonda strikes out swinging. So we're underway.
We're underway, buddy.
Red Sox and Rays.
Underway.
We'll keep you posted. And Sugar Shane has had a phenomenal spring training. I don't think we could ask for anything more.
No.
He's hitting 96 today and learning to pitch it, 80% effort instead of 120% effort, which will hopefully save his arm, save his career.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that he can pitch effectively and get lots of swing and miss at 96, 97, and doesn't have to be 99, 100 all the time.
No, I think that's what you're going to find out is that he's not going to try to overpower, especially early on. And he's going to try to, pitch the contact a little more.
Yeah.
and he's lefty. His pitches, his ball moves automatically. That's the one great thing about what he's always had, is that all his pitches
nice natural movement.
Natural movement. His fastball always ran. Slider was snappy. Great changeup, by the way. That's one of his key pitches. Is not only his fastball, but he's got such a devastating changeup because his arm slot stays the same, and the arm motion is almost exactly as his fastball.
And it's 10 miles an hour difference.
Yeah, it's
which is
devastating,
dramatic.
and he keeps it low. So he's having a great spring. Dare I say, not as good a spring as this kid for the Atlanta Braves, Didier Fuentes.
How about this story?
20-year-old Didier Fuentes, who got rushed up a little bit last June. His birthday is in June, so he got called up to the big leagues. The Braves have been mired in pitching woes for the last 2 or 3 seasons. So they call up this young kid, and he goes out and pitches 3 times and gets shellacked. He gets hit around, gives up a couple homers, and you're like, okay, he's 20 years old. He got sent back down. This spring came in a little beefier, a little stronger, and holy cow, he's had 3 starts, 3 innings each. He's gotten 27 outs, no runs, no hits. So basically in 9 innings, he hasn't thrown a perfect game because the first hitter he faced in spring this year, he hit him with a pitch.
But after that
guy got thrown out trying to steal. So that nullified that out.
Right.
That
he's faced the minimum.
Then he faced the minimum. He's faced 26 guys, and he's got 17 strikeouts.
Holy shit.
So the Braves may have found a secret young weapon that they were needing, because they've had pitching woes left and right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What a spring this kid is having. Another guy that's having an incredible spring, much older, already had pitched a little bit in the big leagues, and went off to the KBO and was the sensational, Cy Young pitcher last year, is Cody Ponce, who got signed by Toronto. He's dealing, and he's got like a .60 ERA, and he struck out, I believe, 5 yesterday. Looked fantastic. He's a lefty that went to Korea and learned a split finger, mastered it. Never had it before. And the Toronto Blue Jays are the key team that throws the most split fingers in the game. In the history of baseball, are the pitchers of the Toronto Blue Jays. So he's fit right in. He's having himself a, like the Blue Jays needed another stud starter. Cody Ponce.
They're loaded.
They're loaded.
They are loaded.
They are loaded. They really are. They seem to have every balance of the facets that we were talking about: the defense, starting pitching, bullpen, obviously offense. Even though losing Bo Bichette, they're still, they picked up Okamoto. We'll see how well the Japanese sensation does. He's having an okay spring. So yeah, the Toronto Blue Jays, I would say, and the Yanks have to be the ones that are kind of 1-2, a close 1-2, as far as if you're going to speculate who's going to take the East. But Boston's starting rotation, it's out of this world. Boston's bullpen is out of this world. If they struggle anywhere, it's maybe scoring runs, but it's not going to be holding the other team to a whole heck of a lot of runs.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and then Baltimore, strengthened themselves both offensively and on the mound. So it's a heck of an East this year. It really is.
I'm trying to the payrolls for all these teams. I'll have those rankings.
Right.
I think the Yankees are at.
I know the Mets are close to 400 million, but I don't know whether
are they.
Yeah, the Mets got to be. The Dodgers went over 400.
Yeah. At least I have this by team. I'll find that here in a second. All right, let's say some nice things about our tremendous advertisers. Texas
please.
Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. I have not been there lately.
Yeah,
but I know you have.
Yeah, they're fantastic, man. They're beautiful. They've got such a good combination of being, even though it's not a solely owned restaurant. There's 8 of them throughout our beautiful Tampa Bay area, but they're the cream of the crop, award-winning comfort food at a comfortable price. Mainly, I think, is because of their food being so fresh, so good. They have their own butcher,
and hand-cut steaks right there,
and their service. always packed, man. So if you do want to, have a great meal with your family or just your girl or your friend, make sure that you can allocate the little 30-minute wait, because everybody loves it, and there's a reason for that. It's the service, it's the food, and it's the location. I mean, it's a great location. I live out that way, and now there's just so much growth out towards
but they've been there for what, 15
at
years?
least 15.
Yeah,
not actually a little more. I think like 17
restaurants
years.
come and go, but the really good ones stick around.
No, and it's a great company.
Yeah.
There's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's over 800 Texas Roadhouse worldwide. So they've gone even beyond the United States.
But the Wesley Chapel one, again, it's an award-winning experience over there, run by Tyler Hamilton. Tyler's slated to come by and visit us he's a big sportsman.
He's a
hell of a softball
sportsman.
player.
Yeah. Loves his baseball. Loves his Georgia football, and he loves his Bucks.
Go Dogs.
Yeah.
And also the Murphy Auto Group, Genesis of Tampa, which I had the pleasure of dealing with these folks over the last couple days, and I am the proud owner of a new GV70, baby. You're jealous, aren't you?
I pulled in, and I'm like, dang, wait.
It's clean, dog.
You always park in the same slot, and I'm going,
that crappy BMW ain't there.
Where's the crappy BMW? That they stole the seal of your BMW.
Bitches.
One day when JP and I are finishing a show, and we go outside, he goes, somebody, and it wasn't here. It was my landlord, Ken Walters. Scumbag that he is. Dirt bag. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah.
Took the little blue and white seal right off of there.
That's what he does. He's a busted old rag.
And he said, let me mess his car up.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
No longer, my friend.
No. I got a crisp Genesis G70. I mean,
solid.
Oh my God. It rides so sweet.
Yeah.
It rides so sweet. My friend
Where
has.
did you get it, by the way?
Genesis of Tampa, baby. Genesis of Tampa. Got a great deal. Great folks to work with,
exactly.
and the whole process is really, really nice. And with the exception of them bringing too many snacks for my wife, it just go get another snack. Cut her off. Cut her off the cookies.
Get some drinks. Yeah, it's great.
90 pounds. But no, they're fantastic. We liked it so much, that car so much.
Right.
I think we're gonna get two.
No way.
Ashley wants one too.
Trade in.
Yeah. And she used to drive a top of the line Land Rover.
Right.
And she gets in it and she's like, and that's $150,000 car.
Oh, yeah.
She's
every bit of it.
This is like way nicer than the Land Rover.
No.
Way nicer.
The Genesis product is
it's insane.
It's really insane.
Yeah. And let me just tell you, I didn't think I could get in it. They made me such a great deal. I got a 2023 with 40,000 miles on it. And let me tell you, it looks brand
No, I pulled in and I
new.
said, oh, you got a new one. And you said, no, it's a 23. I'm like, wow, it looks fantastic. So, congratulations on that. No better place to get it at than the Murphy Auto Group's Genesis of Tampa. They're always having
part of my purchase will go to Gray Bull Rescue this month.
Always thinking about the community and thinking about charities. They're big C3 community, charity, and customer. And also, by the way, everybody out there, they're jonesing to get your used car. So they're giving top dollar.
Yeah, they really are. They gave me POS BMW. They gave me a lot of money.
Bring it by, you might be surprised.
Got a great deal. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I could not be happier.
Amen.
Hey, here's one for you from Mike H. What is your prediction for Rays wins this year? I'm thinking around 87, 88.
87,
up
88
to 90.
Wow. Is aggressive. It's aggressive.
Yeah, I think it's aggressive.
Might be aggressive. But you know what? You're going to need 87 or 88 to slide in the wild card. So I am predicting that if these 9 players stay healthy and play at the level that they can, I think that they have a wild card chance, because pitching, defense, and timely hitting gets you there at the end, and they have the potential for that. I don't think they're going to be routing a bunch of games all the time, but they're going to be playing that great defense. So 87, 88 is not unthinkable. Now,
Vegas has us at 78.5, I believe.
Here's the crazy thing. Because of the dynamics of how deep this division is, Sports Illustrated has the Yankees winning the division with 87 wins.
That's crazy.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
To less than
But
90 wins.
It's a balanced schedule now, so we're not playing them 19 times.
That's when it was unbalanced. And
I'd say
19 times. Then I'd say, okay, they're going to beat the hell out of each other.
Right.
But they're playing everybody else.
Right.
So and they have the Rays, albeit in last, but only 6 games back at 81 wins, going 81 and 81. I see the Rays realistically. They need to be at 87 to try to slide in a wild card position. Can they do that? I think they can.
I got him last year. I had him around 500. I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
I just, to your point, health is, you tell me who stays healthy, and I'll give you a different number.
Health, because if other teams are more unhealthy than we are, I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference. So it's how healthy we can stay. And when we started the show with Taylor Walls being unhealthy, that's not the guy that I'm most worried about being unhealthy.
Right.
So, don't think that I'm like, talking health. And it's the 9 guys that I mentioned and, and a smattering of other guys that need to stay healthy. But if those guys stay healthy and outperform or outplay, by that means games played to the key 9 or 10 guys of every other team, that's how they're going to win, because those guys matter. That 9-pack is massive for the Rays.
All right. A couple other questions here from our great fans here. You have so many of them. I think we kind of hit on Carson Williams in that, so Alejandro will pass that one. Alejandro says, do you see the Rays trading Richie Palacios or some of that caliber to make room for Walls when he returns? Is there a possibility of Walls being traded if Carson and Williams improve? They can handle shortstop.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's always a possibility, but that's more of a July trade deadline if you're needing a piece or something like that, and those 2 guys are performing, especially if Carson Williams is performing at a good level, playing solid shortstop and hitting 250 or above. Then you can package, Taylor Walls to a team that had an injury and needs a strong defensive shortstop.
You get something nice for him.
You can get something real nice.
Because his WAR is always good.
You package, one of the young prospects that are out there, because they have so many of them. So you could package something in there. You don't mess with Melton. You don't mess with Bodine. You don't mess with, a slew of, Ferret. You don't mess with a slew of the youngsters that are your future, or your 29ers, if you will.
Yeah.
But
got a good.
Yeah, there's a good group.
Good
there.
Stable now.
Yeah. They played yesterday and they beat the Mets out in Port St. Lucie. They played a night game yesterday and they beat them 2-0. Really good pitching for both teams, actually. A shitload of strikeouts. Actually, I think there was. Let me count it. I think there was like 21 strikeouts by the 2 teams, something like that.
We'll call that good pitching.
We'll call that good pitching, because it was definitely not good hitting. But they outlasted the youngsters. And Ferret pitched, a couple other guys. Urbina started, looked really good. So there's a couple of major arms, down in the farm. So to answer the Taylor Walls, I could see the trade. As far as Richie Palacios, definitely, he's definitely the odd man out.
There's going to be some movement.
You're not even seeing him play.
There's going to be some movement.
He's nicked up again. So, that's a guy that he's not going to the minor leagues. You're going to try to, package him somewhere, or try to, create some sort of, you're not going to get a whole lot for Richie Palacios, but yeah, you got enough to cover.
All right, couple more here. Alex Nunn says, I like Walls, but he's never made the proper adjustment over his career to at least make better contact.
No, he hasn't. No, because actually he has a high strikeout rate for a guy that hits
doesn't hit so well.
Yeah, because at least Carson has had notoriously high strikeout rate, and a small sampling this spring has cut it down. I believe in 22 at bats, he's got like 5 strikeouts. Manageable, but he's got pop. He's got legit pop. I think they both each have a home run in the spring, but when you really truly expand out to 400 or 500 at bats, I'm going to give Carson Williams the massive edge offensively. So that guy, I think he's ready. Seems to have come into spring. Chad Matola's already said it. He's really been impressed with how more disciplined he is at the plate. the attitude he has as far as not, going out of his zone. They're going to do that to him. They're going to pitch him up and they're going to pitch him down and away. And how well does he take? By the way, he runs every bit as good as Taylor Walls.
Yeah.
Every bit as good. He's a true athlete. The kid's
really good athlete.
Yeah. So you want to get him on base and then flip the lineup to that, aforementioned big trio and get that going. So here's a guy that could, be manning down in that 7, 8, 9 hole and get your lineup flipped, but still be on base and score from first on a double. We had some very bad base running last year, even though we had some speed, but there was some suspect situations. So this is
the contact play at third.
Contact play was terrible.
We need
but even can
we like rethink that?
Well, we'll see if they've rethunk it. Going into
so many outs at home. So that's such a killer.
We'll see what's going on.
Like a turnover in your own end in football.
Yeah.
By the way, payrolls to start the season. Dodgers at 398, Mets at 373. Then your Yankees at 325. We'll do AL East. Toronto at 306. Boston at 255. So 3 of the top 7.
Surprising that Boston is not closer to 300. By the way,
255 is a lot.
It's a lot, but they've pulled the reins back because you have some other teams that you'd be surprised are at 240. I want to say, dare I say, Atlanta Braves might be in the upper 200s.
Atlanta's at 234.
That's what I was going to say.
With the battery, fueling their resurgence. From a financial standpoint. Baltimore is at 203.
How about them out?
The Orioles went all in. They got the new owner, figured out their stadium deal. The next year they popped.
They started
signed Alonso.
Yeah.
And then your Rays are down at 27 at 107 million.
Let's stay right
First
there.
First time
buddy.
over 100 million.
Yeah, let's stay right there.
How about that? 107.
Maybe even go up a little bit by July if you need a piece.
107.
You need a piece, and you're talking about the Taylor Walls, but you need some hammer pitcher that's making, 15 million somewhere else and a team that's out of the race. You take on that, that $6-7 million in the second half of the year.
How about that?
Yeah.
Speaking of payroll, so the a little stadium update here. We like to do this every time. So as I've been telling you, the real vote is going to come on April 14th, April 15th. That will be the city and county. So there's, we still got 3 weeks to go on that. There's a lot of negotiation that needs to be done. The Rays have kind of changed some things in their design of the roof.
Right.
As Ken Hagan was on our show last week, talked to you about value engineering.
Right.
So they're trying to get that $2.3 billion.
I like that terminology.
Down.
Yeah.
To make it a little bit more palatable for them, so that that 50% number, if they can get it down under $2 billion, that 50% goes from 1.15 billion to 800, 900. So that's a lot for the county and the city,
right?
And the Rays have said they'll pay at least 50%. So I think that you'll see the Rays come up with more money,
right?
But in the end, as Alan Clendenin said, who's on the city council and the TSA board, the numbers that he's seen, there's a framework for getting a deal done. He's very positive about it. So listen, I know there's a lot of negativity out there, mostly fueled by the TBT. A lot of stupid columns that they're writing. Brody Brazil then rehashes these things in his videos that are very popular. So it feels like there's a rash of negativity on this, but I will assure you that really doesn't affect how the people that are deciding this that much. Now, listen, public opinion is important, and these are public officials, and if they're getting bombarded by all the negativity and no positivity, they could be influenced. So my advice to you is, and I'll put these out again on my Twitter, email your county, especially your city. The city vote looks more closer to 4-3. The county looks like 5-2.
Right.
But city council and county as well, email them and just say, hey, listen, we understand what this is a great investment. We love our Major League Baseball team. We think it's an asset as part of, living in the Tampa Bay area, having a Major League team, having it in Tampa is very important to us. We feel like it's a good deal because the money that we're going to get back from the investment.
That's the key.
And I think once people understand that, yes, there is an outlay, but the projections all say that once they finish this entire $8 to $10 billion investment, that there's going to be more money coming back to the taxpayers than much more than they put in.
Let me ask you this, not to simplify it, but just hypothetical. Hypothetically, if the stadium were to be done small, cheaper, less, not as dramatic as they're wanting to do, and it was 1.3 billion, and the team said, yeah, we're in for like 300 million, 350, and then you guys have to raise 700, that's where you start really, worrying about, well, the team's not really into this thing.
Right.
These guys are in at least 50%, if not more. It's just that they're trying to create something massively state-of-the-art, along with taking on and the heavy lift of the rest of the development, along with ingratiating and building up Hillsborough College. So yes, initially it's a lot of money, right? Anywhere between 2 billion to 2.3. Forget about the rest of the build out that the Rays are covering that. But what it brings back, as you were just saying, is so much back, in what we're going to make. You have to look at this as a legacy thing. You have to look at it as a longevity, as an investment, but a positive investment where the private public scenario is not heavily one-sided. Mm-hmm. If it was heavily one-sided, I'd have a problem with it. But these guys have been transparent and saying, we're in along with the community and we're going to make money, but so are you. Yeah. You're going to benefit.
That's the plan.
Along. So I've said all along that this is a legacy deal for the team makes money and has like their great grandkids are going to be set up, but the constituents end up looking great. And more importantly, the community benefits. This is great stadium meets education, meets jobs, meets a landmark new look of a spectrum of Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
That's it will be unheralded in this, not in the state of Florida.
It'll be the biggest
in the United States of America.
Yeah, it's iconic. Listen, and let us not forget, what the number one industry here is in Florida? It's tourism.
It's tourism.
It's tourism. And this is, like Ken said when he sat right in that seat there, Ken Babby, that this is like building a animal kingdom. It's like building a theme park that you project, like the Battery in Atlanta had 9 million visitors last year.
Yeah.
It's not just for baseball. It's 4th of July. It's New Year's Eve. It's concerts. It's Summer Flint, all the different things that happen. Yes. It's football season when the national championship game comes, that a lot of the area, the mixed use will be used, hotels, restaurants, bars. Sure. It becomes that party place around the stadium that becomes part of it. So it's tourists coming from all over for football games.
This place could host a Final Four.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. We have a dome stadium that could host the Final Four. Absolutely it could, as Tropicana Field did back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s.
And so, these are, and where better than Tampa Bay to hold, in terms of a Final Four in March,
but with things
early
around
April,
to really accentuate it.
This makes it, you have all these destination events, WrestleMania,
sure,
all these things that have been in Raymond James Stadium. So now you can bring them into
all of it, man.
Man, it's a dramatic. It's an exciting time, and and there was a editorial this week in the TBT, 3 clouds over the the Rays, and it's just like, it's so talking about a building that's dilapidated that serves 1,000 people a day, mostly Spanish speaking, as if just trying to create this class warfare bullshit. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, that building will be redone and better for the people. Tennis court, tennis facility.
Yep.
Oh, game, set, match for the Braves Bills Stadium. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, we're going to build that bigger and better at Al Lopez Park. These people clutching their pearls to these small visions of we're going to just and not paying any attention to the enormous benefits. 12,000 jobs.
Yes.
By the way, people need jobs in this area. 12,000 jobs that will be created. $8 to $10 billion by the time it's all done. Keeping your Major League Baseball team, creating revenue, creating a tourist spot to bring in 10 million visitors, which fuels all of our economy. Most of it paid by user fees and hotel taxes and other taxes that don't necessarily affect us not property taxes. It doesn't affect police, roads, fire, power, sewer, all these other things that people, what about our tax dollars? These are not tax dollars that would go to that. We are creating a tax base by what you're building that does not exist now. And I think once people understand that,
and won't ever exist in that area.
Right.
When you're talking about like, it's only, providing to 1,000 or 1,500 kids, nothing else is going to better that if you don't group it with something this dramatic. Oh, by the way, the demographic of who goes to ACC are black, brown. Yeah. And why not give them a much better opportunity at education? That's why I say that this is sports meets education, meets jobs, meets a theme place, if you will. All of these converging in this incredible build out. So and what will happen is that students are going to have better education scenario and
a brand new campus
and experience. Everybody's going to better, and those kids are going to throw in the fact that they're going to be able to expand certain other
internship opportunities.
Yeah. No, but as far as getting, your AA and beyond.
Yeah. 4-year college.
Yeah. You can get, some sort of things certified in kinesiology or sports therapy and all these other things that they're going to go out into the community now and become prominent workers. So it's a win-win, especially for the inner city kids that have been dealing with a dilapidated college there.
Yeah,
this is
that
massive.
Needed 70.
You have to look beyond the now.
Yeah,
that's the tough thing, and look beyond the now and the dollars now being expensive, but what it would be, and come back to us. I think it's a no-brainer, and hopefully everything will go according to plan, and it's going to be such a huge success. But we are in the here and now. And we are in a season that's a few days away, but this is very, very important.
Yeah, I agree. And as Mr. Babby was so kind and nice to say to us that.
Hey, by the way, I just also realized that did the guys did Mark Tompkin and I think somebody else.
Oh yeah, congrats to John Romano, Colleen Wright.
And they won. What was the name of the award?
The Lucy Morgan Award.
Well, I think you should.
That was for breaking all the stories on the stadium that Mark Tompkin did and Colleen Wright, and the new Rays owners breaking all those stories. They got those awards.
Wait a second. Wait, then I'm going to give you the I Love Lucy Award.
Oh, I like the I Love. They get the Lucy Morgan. Award. I get the I Love Lucy. Yeah, I love that show.
You know why? Because Lucy, you have some explaining to do, and I'm talking about Lucy Morgan. You have some explaining to do because nobody in the Tampa Bay area or in the United States were first to the stories. Even Ken Babby has said as much. To everything and anything having to do with A, who the new ownership was going to be, B, what the scenario is and where the team was going to most likely land, or B.
So the end of the St. Pete deal, which I predicted,
the end of the St. Pete deal,
broke those stories. But no,
listen, you get the I Love Lucy Award. You know what?
Thank you, Ricky.
Listen, I'll even sing you a little song.
Oh, please do.
My horse and carriage is for hire, Senora. For as long as you desire, señorita, we're going to ride. Forget the Havana and come to Havana with me. I'm your Cuban cubby.
Wow.
That is Desi Arnaz.
That was fabulous.
Honoring you for the I Love Lucy Award of being
take it.
The true guy.
Can we get a kind of a trophy?
I'm going to get you something. I'm going to get you something from Fred and Ethel. I don't know. They'll make.
I think it was the New York Times. They got a Pulitzer Prize for reporting the Russia hoax. So sometimes these awards aren't quite what they're saying. But congratulations for breaking those stories.
Anyway, we love them.
Congratulations for giving an award.
Also congratulations, JP.
Self-awarded.
You've been on point and on time, brother. And keep doing your journalistic duties.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Buddy.
Anyway, some other. Hold on, we got.
Forget the mañana and come to Havana with me.
Mike H says Ricky Arnaz is laughing right now.
Desi
Arnaz.
Yeah, Ricky Ricardo. That's a guy.
Oh, Thomas Casper says I get the Stussy Award. It's a
What is that?
The Stu and Lucy combined. It's the Stussy Award.
Stussy Award
goes to.
I love Lucy. You got some explaining to do.
She definitely didn't see my reporting. Mike H says, I don't have faith in any of these elected officials. Good luck with that. Well, I mean, I get that.
Fortunately or unfortunately, we got to have faith in them to do the right thing.
Thomas says, 3 dark clouds, the dumbest article ever written. It is, honestly, it's like, it's so bad. It's so, oh my God. Oh, what are we going to do with the tennis courts? And
the tennis courts and the lab.
You mean like the empty tennis courts? It's all pickleball now anyway, right, Mike? Yes, It's all pickleball. Yeah.
They're going to make it better, bigger, badder, and better. Please.
Yeah. Mike says, leave the red light stripper district alone. Guys, like, they're clutching their pearls. Look at Drew Park. It's so wonderful. Now, leave it alone. Yeah. Why are the Rays ruining it?
Don't try to fix that.
Have you seen the gentlemen's clubs over there? I love that they still call them gentlemen's club. Strip clubs. Yeah. Mike H says, Big O, have you been to the beautiful park in Dunedin where the Blue Jays play?
Yes. It's phenomenal. What a great job they did over there. And more teams are
putting
not tens, but hundreds of millions of dollars into
the spring training complex.
Yeah. So the Blue Jays really
and the city of Dunedin
for many years they were them and Winter Haven were no fun to go to.
Oh.
They were terrible places to go, be a player or even a fan at the stadiums over there. But now they've maxed it out.
Yeah, and you go to Dunedin, the city, and that beautiful little walk around city they have there, and the little mom and pop restaurants and Irish pubs and stuff,
and a bunch of
right there on the water.
That,
and you walk over to was it TD Park? Or is that the Clear? I don't know. I forget.
No, that was.
I forget the corporate names. Not like them.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't matter.
It was TD. Well, it's TD now. Actually, now they're still TD.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Alejandro says Max Scherzer, who I've seen twice in spring training, he loves him some Max Scherzer.
He's throwing today. I don't know how he's doing.
That's pitching scary because in 2 games he started both games 4 or 5 innings each with no hit baseball. He looks healthy and looks scary.
Yeah, Max and Verlander are, trying to find one more gauge.
Yeah. All right. We cannot wait as of next week. So when is opening day? Wednesday?
Wednesday's opening day. The Yanks visit the Giants in the sole game of the day.
Is that in Tokyo?
McClanahan, 3 innings, 2 hits, no walks,
beauty,
4 punch-outs. Versus a Red Sox lineup full of Anthony's and Duran and Contreras, Yoshida, Mayer, Rafaela.
That's the number one lineup right there.
That's pretty much their number one lineup.
And he went what?
He went 3
4 Ks,
no walks. So
wow.
I'm trying to find out how many pitches he's.
I mean, dude, if Shane can come back and pitch at that level,
he's at 45 pitches. 30 strikes. Holy cow, he's just throwing strikes.
If he can get 32 starts,
he's gonna have one more inning. He's got to have one more inning in this game.
I say the Rays win 20 of those games.
Yeah, man.
If he has 32 starts, the Rays win 20 of them.
It's just that you
at least
you can't abuse that arm coming back off of 2 years of
I know.
Miss no use.
I know.
So
I know.
So I guess I've said it numerous times already that I think they're going to use the Drew Rasmussen approach to him this year.
I agree.
So it's not to say that he can't get into the 20s and starts, but you're going to skip him a couple of times, and you're definitely going to have him, if he's like right now, he's throwing 15 pitches in an inning. He's throwing 3 innings, 45 pitches, 30 strikes. He should go out there for another inning. If he could do that and throw 5 innings to start,
killer.
Then
fantastic.
So, you're talking what, 65 pitches.
You could bring Joe Boyle in and then back him up for 2 or 3, and then you get your
and then you get to the trio.
The trio.
You get to the hammers.
That sounds like a nice little
dude. That's deal. Yeah. You almost kind of like try to matriculate to to protect Shane like that, to have that trio available for him and kind of, especially for him. So
score 3 runs, you win.
I'd like 4. 4 is my magic number for the Rays to make the playoffs. They got to average 4 and a little bit. All right. Okay. They do that with the defense and the pitching and the health. Dare I say, who was it? Mike or somebody threw out 87 wins?
I'll take 87 wins right now.
Dude.
That's a wild card.
That's the 6 game. You were saying 81-81. You're happy with that? That's kind of your prediction. That 6-game swing is
that's a healthy Shane.
It's catchable.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there like a Pokemon, baby.
Pokemon.
Hello.
All right, we will find out starting next week.
We will.
We got baseball.
Yeah, we're gonna give you
very good.
We'll give you a full preseason cap on Tuesday and some predictions as to what is what and who I think is gonna end up where. But as far as in each of the divisions, but it should be a really fun year. Be a really fun year.
Can't wait. All right, partner. I gotta go pick up a new car and finish that deal. That Genesis in Tampa, Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. Then I'll go get a steak dinner.
Yeah, buddy. Come on now.
Feed the advertisers.
Feed the advertisers.
All right. So what do you want to tell everybody?
You know what? Stay tranquil and tropical. I love you, Lucy. You got some explaining to do.
What more singing?
My horse and carriage.